Good day, everyone. I'm Ivan, the moderator for this webinar. I welcome everyone to today's webinar, which is how to manage the legal landmine of the FMLA, ADA, and workers' compensation in the workplace. I would like to introduce our presenter for today, Margie Falk. Margie Falk, PHR, SHRMCP, HR Compliance Advisor, Speaker, HR Compliance Solutions. LLC is a senior level human resources professional with over 15 years of HR management and compliance experience. Margie holds a professional human resources certification PHR from the HR Certification Institute HRCI and SHRM-CP certification from the Society of Human Resources Management. I would now like to hand over the floor to the speaker. Over to you, Margie.
Well, thank you, Ivan. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everyone in attendance today. Every webinar that I conduct, I offer free customized compliance tools for all the attendees. What reasonable accommodation has to do with all of what we're learning today includes all the documentation that you need to have. It's an FMLA cover sheet. Now, we are going to learn several things. We're going to learn the highlights, common pitfalls, and misconceptions that may increase the risk of employer liability. What you're going to learn in this webinar is how to navigate the alphabet soup of FMLA, ADA, and workers' compensation regulations. Now, obviously, you may have your own perception of how this works together. And there are challenges with the American with Disabilities Act, with the Family Medical Leave Act, or workers' compensation. So why the confusion? So let's get into each specific. And there are two, at least, new updates on FMLA. So what needs to happen? What are the enforcement authorities for each law? All three can apply to the same employee. Now, does ADA, FMLA, and workers' comp overlap? Well, it does depend on that person does have eligibility for FMLA. They also have eligibility with ADA. The order of the benefits matters. As soon as someone is injured at work, employers that are subject to FMLA should process the FMLA paperwork. When FMLA, ADA, and Title VII coverage overlap. Let's talk a little bit about the ADA, the American with Disabilities Act, intended to provide protection for disabled individuals. Reasonable accommodation. Well, what is it? Granting leave as a reasonable accommodation. Well, the purpose of the ADA's reasonable accommodation obligation is to require employers to change the way things are customarily done. ADA standards for disability-related inquiries and medical examinations. FMLA. So what is it? We know that it is unpaid leave and it is job protected leave. Here's the criteria for FMLA. I use these slides as guides. You're going to hear me say that often. We talked about this. There are reasons for leave. So make sure you're looking at the right definition. So I thought I would share with you a couple of new things. What's new under FMLA? FMLA allows employees to limit their workday indefinitely. How about remote employees? Are they eligible? So let's stay current with recent updates. There's also updated FMLA employment rights posters available. Restrictions for job protections, but it doesn't guarantee certain key employees will get their positions back upon return. FMLA compliance, the impact. Some of this, employer compliance. Employer representatives should inform the employee that they must still pay the employee portion of the health premium. Here's top 5 FMLA mistakes to avoid. Calling leave FMLA when it's not. Not documenting performance issues. Failing to consider leave as an ADA accommodation. Failure to designate FMLA in a timely manner. Lack of supervisor training. Who is responsible for ensuring compliance of administration of FMLA? What are the steps for FMLA compliance? Some FMLA challenges, you probably can name some as well. Employer concerns. What are the challenges with employees on FMLA leave? Can you extend FMLA? No. So things to consider. A designation notice. This is the end of that process. Fitness for duty certification. Here we start with some of our charts. Certification at a glance. Are you a third-party administrator? Don't forget intermittent leave. How you track it may be challenges. A tracking system in place. 10 mistakes employers make with FMLA, types of retaliation, FMLA claims against employers. The next few slides, okay, are going to end with workers' compensation. How do workers' compensation program and the ADA overlap? But let's really look at, can an employer require employees to submit a doctor's note when they are absent? Here's some of the charts. Love this. So here are some of the factors that we talked about. How does the ADA work with FMLA? Here's some basic FMLA leave requirements, additional FMLA rights, basic ADAA leave requirements, some basic workers' comp leave requirements, when medical and disability related leave intersects. And here's where we're going to have a lot of discussions about additional leave, coordinating leaves. There are leave of absence challenges. How do you manage it? Here's our challenges. We're going to see a couple of these, okay? Non-compliance with FMLA, what remedies are available, result of FMLA claims, fines and penalties, review policies and procedures, consistency, FMLA training, why you should make it a priority for managers this year and every year thereafter. As a manager, you need to be aware of workplace laws that impact your employees. Best way to stay in compliance of FMLA, train, train, train. The most forgotten poster by employers. Here's some other resources if you don't have them already. Here is a fact sheet. Employer notification requirements under FMLA. See the link there. And there is an employee handbook, which I believe is listed also. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you, Ivan, and thank you for being such a great partner. I want to thank everyone also for attending this. Although it seems like a lot of information, I think the breakdown itself will allow you to refer back to your slides and your information and all the fabulous resources to help guide you. Remember also that you have the reasonable accommodations toolkit that is going to be beneficial, whether it comes to FMLA, ADA, or any other reasonable accommodation. I look forward to seeing you all virtually in future training. And at this particular time, I'm going to say stay safe and so long.
Thank you, Margie. That concludes the session for today. Thank you everyone for participating. You may all disconnect now and you all have a great day ahead. Bye bye.